Well, when it comes to decluttering, there's one thing that holds almost everyone up. So today, let's talk about how you can move past indecision and decide once. Decide once about each item in your house and never have to handle it or second guess yourself again. And I also want to remind you that we're kicking off our fall guest series tomorrow with Cass from Clutterbug. So I have a fun game planned that she doesn't know about. So I think it's gonna be fun. I think we're gonna laugh a lot, but it'll take place on our Facebook page. It'll be a Facebook Live. Don't worry if you don't have Facebook, we're gonna repost the videos to our blog afterwards. We'll share the link here so you'll still be able to see it. But you can also submit questions ahead of time. There's a link down below. And we have a lot of other fun guests lined up as well. Like Joshua Becker, Natalie Bennett, Dr. Paul from Live on Purpose, Danae Bearhome with Simple Families, and Whitney from Be the Village. And so we hope to see you over on Facebook tomorrow. Well, hi, I'm Dawn from The Minimal Mom, and we love being able to help you declutter quickly because I know how it can be paralyzing at times, and what always stands out to me is that we are all more alike than different. Our clutter, all of our clutter looks so much alike, and we get hung up by the same things where we go to declutter and then we start second guessing ourselves, we feel indecisive, and we just really worry about making the wrong decision. So today, let's talk about how we can get to a point quickly and easily where we can decide once, where every item that we hold up trying to decide if we should keep it or declutter it, that we can quickly and easily decide once and be done with it so we can get on to enjoying the benefits of simple living and not just thinking about it or trying to do it, but actually really getting our house simplified and enjoying it. So I have two tips that I think make the biggest difference when it comes to the ability to be able to decide once and be done with it. The first is setting rules for decluttering so that it's not so subjective. And then the other is to always have a garbage bag and a donation box with you. So let's talk about this first one. How do we gain confidence in ourselves and take some of the guesswork out of decluttering? And so I know for many of us, when we go to declutter, we come to the first thing and we hold it up, and all of a sudden we start second guessing ourselves, right? And what this really comes down to quite often is our self-confidence. Do we have the confidence in ourselves to make the right decision? Often the fear is that I'm gonna make the wrong decision. The kids are gonna come home and wonder where Sleeping Queens went, right? Even though they haven't played with it for 2 years and I decided to declutter it, my fear is that all of a sudden they're gonna wonder where it is, or we're gonna have a family game night and no games to play, or something like that, right? And so the fear is that we're gonna make a wrong decision. And what's hard though is that these decisions actually become very subjective or very dependent on the mood we're in and the state of our mind and well-being at the moment. And so what one day might be a very easy, clear decision, the next can feel difficult and hard and like a really big decision to make, right? I feel like this happens to a lot of us. And so here's what I suggest is that we put rules around our decluttering so that it's no longer subjective, but it's very much objective. And so a lot of these rules are gonna sound familiar to you. The 1 year rule. If I haven't used it in 1 year, then it's time to let it go. And why is that? Because we only use 20% of the stuff in our house. 80% of it sits around never being used. And so if this item has fallen into that 80% that never gets used, in this past year I never used it, then most likely, almost guaranteed, it's not gonna get used this next year either. So this 1 year rule is actually, it's very trustworthy and you can really rely on it. And so what I would even suggest doing is to have a way to keep it in front of you, because again, we're trying to make it objective and not subjective. So you could write it on a post-it note. I have a printable down below where you can print it out, but like literally you could just right now take a post-it note and write 1 year. And now wherever my house that I go to declutter, I'm gonna take this with me and I'm gonna like stick it on the wall in front of wherever it is I'm working. And then when I get to an item that I'm not sure about, I'm gonna look at the post-it note and I'm saying, nope, I'm just following the rules of decluttering. 1 year. Have I used it in this past year? No, I haven't. Okay, then I'm gonna let it go. Another rule that I think is really helpful is that if you have forgotten about it, then you need to use it or lose it. So again, we can just jot on here, use it or, I don't have super nice handwriting, lose it. Use it or lose it, because if we have forgotten about it in the past, it is almost guaranteed that we're gonna forget about it again, and we can't use an item that we've forgotten about. It has no value to us. So that's another great, really reliable rule, is if I have forgotten about it, I have to use it or lose it. And as long as you have your post-it notes out, another thing that can be helpful is to put a main reason on here why you're decluttering. Is it to spend more time with your loved ones? You want to be a better parent? You want your house to be easier to keep clean? You want your house to be more peaceful? It can also be helpful to put that on here. I have too much inventory. I want the house to be peaceful. So again, when we're coming to some of these decisions that we have to make, we can say, okay, do I want to have to keep this and maintain it and add it to my inventory, or is it more important to me right now that I have a peaceful home? So it depends what is most motivating to you, but sometimes keeping the end goal right in front of you can be really helpful as well. Now, the next tip so that we can get into this habit of deciding once so we can declutter really quickly is to always have a garbage bag and a donation box with you. So we talked about this quite a bit in our video about how to declutter without making a big mess. And these two items are so key to that. A garbage bag, preferably black, but we used all of ours up when we were doing the girls' bedroom. But a black garbage bag and a donation box, and always having this with you. And why is that? Because we want to make it very easy to part with stuff. And so if I have a donation box here and I come across this storage container that I have not used in the past year, I even forgot that it was here, I want to make it very easy to part with it. So if I have a donation box right here with me, I can literally just put this in there. I'm not making a pile that then I have to take it out to my car later. No, I have my donation box right here and I am just gonna stick this in. And what's so cool about it is that I think you'll find that if you will trust me on this and you will have a donation box and a garbage bag with you, you're gonna find that quite often it's easier to put it into one of those two containers to donate or to throw than it is to fully deal with the item or to find a permanent home. So if I come across like this game, which this is actually one of our favorites and I would highly recommend it for a Christmas gift, especially I don't know what the ages are. Ages 8 to adult. Yeah, if your kids are like 8 and up, even Corbin and Gagey, they're 6 and 7, they like it too. Highly recommend it. But let's say I come across a game in my linen closet and we haven't played it in years, right? No one's really gonna miss it. It's so much easier to just put it in the donation box than it is to bring it to the game closet, right? Instead of getting up, stopping what I'm doing, going and putting it away, it's a lot easier just to put it in the donation box. And so we want to take down any barriers to success. And so if having to walk something out to the trunk of your car where the donations go, that can be a barrier. If my donation box is right here, I throw it in and I keep working my way through the space that I'm decluttering. And so this is huge. And I know some of these things are like, well, yeah, that kind of makes sense. I'm asking you to trust me. If you ever feel indecisive when it comes to decluttering or you're worried about making mistakes, try these out and like follow through completely. And I think you're gonna find them very helpful. The last and final thing is to use short chunks of time. And so the problem with decluttering is that we get fatigued very quickly from it, decision fatigue, because every item, we're holding it up. Do I need it? Have I used it in the past year? Did I forget it was here? Is it like almost guaranteed I'm gonna use it in the future if I keep it? And so item after item, it's actually very taxing on our emotional energy. You could wake up feeling fully energized and full of physical energy, but this is a different type of energy that we're using. And so it's very fatiguing. And so if we set the timer for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, we have our post-it notes with our rules on it. We have our donation box and our garbage bag, so we're fully prepared. We go to an area that we want to declutter. We set the timer for 5 minutes. You're gonna feel very prepared, equipped, and ready to make these decisions. And knowing that it's just for a short amount of time, I know for myself, if I'm like, okay, I only have 5 minutes, I wanna move quickly and get through as many things as I can in that 5 minutes, and then I can be done. If I wanna keep going, I can, but if I'm like, okay, that was enough, I go put the box away, the garbage bag into the garbage can, and then I give myself permission to be done for that time period. But you'll find that by doing short chunks of time, you're not overtaxing your brain, you're not getting as overwhelmed or tired from the process by doing this even once a day, but you'll probably find yourself doing it more often because it feels more manageable. You start to really gain momentum and you gain confidence in yourself because again, like we said in the beginning, that's usually what's lacking when we're finding ourselves to be very indecisive and worried about making a wrong decision. It's the confidence in ourselves. And what's so cool though is that this grows over time and we gain confidence in ourselves over time. Even like we just finished the girls' bedroom, and so I had the comforters from their beds because we got the Betty's bedding, which we were so grateful for. And so I had their old comforters and I was like, well, should we keep them for foster care? But ideally for that, I would want something that's gender neutral. I mean, these are very girly, they're pink, you know? And so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna donate them because I want them to get used. I don't want them to sit around in storage or to save them for someday. Like, we just don't keep stuff like that. And so I decided to donate them, and it was a fairly easy decision because I knew I couldn't guarantee that we were gonna use it in the future, and I just have the confidence built up now over years of doing this that we just don't miss this stuff. If anything, what I appreciate the most is having less inventory to manage, not having to remember that it's there, or not having this burden of every time I see it then in storage feeling like, oh, I have to remember to use that. Oh, I need to use that. Oh, bummer, it's still sitting in storage. Oh, I thought we would have used that by now. And so we don't even realize how this stuff hangs over our head. And so I would rather just pass it on, be done with it for now, and not have to think about it again. And so I hope this is helpful. I would love to know, have there been any other like tips or tricks that have helped you move past indecision or that fear of making a wrong decision? If you can share that down below, it's so helpful. And you might want to go back and visit last week's video too. We talked about how minimalism can lead to more happiness by not having to maintain so much stuff and getting bogged down in that main level of like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So I think that my mom's like, whoa, you're getting really scientific on me. I think it actually was pretty manageable though. But I hope this helps, and I hope last week's video was helpful too. But you can find a link for that down below. Or just let us know too, like what things especially hang you up, and then we can have conversations about that in the comments as well. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't done so already, we hope you subscribe so that we can spend more time together. A thumbs up is the best compliment that you can give us, and we'll definitely look forward to seeing you again soon.